Hi, Jonathan Schrager here, Stretty News TV. I'm joined by former Manchester United player Arnold Mühren, who played for the club from 1982 to 85. First Dutchman to play for the club, and obviously, as we know, there's a strong Dutch connection now at Manchester United. You won the FA Cup with United in 1983, and obviously thereafter you went on to have a very highly decorated career as well. But first of all, Arnold, when you look at your career, there's quite a curious coincidence if you're a United fan, in the sense that obviously when you left United in 85 and you had an extended career up until you were 39, and you played under Louis van Gaal, who was assistant manager at Ajax during your last year of your career in 1989. How does he compare to the other great managers that you played under?
Well, he's rated one of the best Dutch coaches ever. And if you talk about Dutch coaches, you talk about Dick Advocaat, you talk about Hiddink, you talk about Cruyff, Michels, and Van Gaal is with them, I think, well, one of the best Dutch coaches ever. He's been very, very successful.
Yeah.
Not only at Ajax, but also with Barcelona, Bayern Munich. And hopefully he can do the same thing with United, that they can win the league, of course, in England, but also doing well in Europe.
And just specifically in relation to Louis van Gaal, we talked in depth before about managers and man management and tactics and what have you. I know that it was at the very early stages of his career as a manager when you played under him, but how did you rate him then? I know it was only a year you played under him, but could you see something in him, even in the early stages of his career, that he would go on to become a special manager?
Well, he was head of the academy, and he followed, I think it was Pienacker. He was a man from discipline. He was talking a lot with players. He was talking a lot about tactics, systems, and what the main thing is, he had a good squad of players. He won the Champions League in '95 with only Dutch players, with all younger players, and then he was more a build-up sort of manager, because they were all very, very young in that team. Mm-hmm. And well, he is rated one of the best coaches around. I mean, he proved that at Barcelona, of course.
Yeah.
He did very well there. He did well at Bayern Munich, and now at United, got him because of his experience and because of his knowledge of the game.
Yeah.
Technically, he's very strong. I mean, an example is that in Brazil, the last World Cup, everybody thought in Holland, what is he going to do now? Because he changed his system. But normally we play 4-3-3, but now he played with 4 at the back and 2 up front. Mm-hmm. And 2 in midfield, and he played a completely different system. And why? The reason for that was that he thought, with this squad of players, if I play 4-3-3, that's not, that doesn't suit the players. So he decided to play with 3 central defenders. Mm-hmm. He started so, I think, with United as well.
Yes, he did.
3 central defenders and 2 fullbacks, but the fullbacks were,
the wing backs.
Wing backs.
Yeah.
And well, he played that system in Brazil because he had 2 very, very good players up front with and Van Persie. They didn't have to defend, just to do your job.
Yeah. And
from midfield he was supporting, so it was more counter football.
Yeah.
Than the way he wants to play. Really, he wants to play. He wants to have domination football, adventurous football, attacking football.
Yeah.
But now he was a little bit waiting for the opposition to play attacking football and try to catch them on the break.
Yeah.
Which they done very, very well, Holland, because they did a great job, of course. They finished 3rd in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they put him in charge of the first team because the board of directors and everybody at Ajax thought that because he'd done a great job in the youth academy from Ajax. Yeah. They said, well, you have to, coach the first team, because everybody was thinking that because he's done so well for the youth academy, and the way of thinking of football about tactics and systems, and he's very he likes discipline anyway. Mm-hmm. And if I tell a player they have to do that, he has to do that. If you do some other things and it doesn't work, well, I put some other guy in, and he has to do that job because he wants from the players that they know exactly what they are doing.
Yeah.
You know, and when the opposition are changing their system, you expect the players to adapt to that system the opposition is playing. So if the opposition is playing one striker, and all of a sudden the second half they play with 3 strikers, he expects from the players, because they're all internationals, that they know exactly what to do. Because if he's done that on the trainings pitch.
To be, yeah.
So, but also it takes also a little bit of time, because the English players are used to another system, what they played the year before under Moyes.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to do now, to let him think as himself, how to play football, how to play a different system, and that always takes some time. And I mean, now in the team there are, well, Blind is playing now, Schneiderlin is in Schweinsteiger and Memphis. I mean, if there are new players coming new into the team, then he has to explain again to the new players how he wants to play.
Yeah.
And because he's done it before with the other big clubs as well. So we expect for a club like United and the players who are in the squad that they can do the same things for the team as the other players have done for him when he was coaching the other teams, like Barcelona and Bayern Munich. So everybody knew in Holland that was your good coach. You only are the good coach when you are successful.
Yes, true.
Because he's done so well for Ajax, winning leagues and won the Champions League in '95.
Yeah.
Then his career started, because when you win the Champions League, I mean, other countries are looking at you and say, "What's happening there?"
Yeah.
Ajax is winning the league. Who's manager there? And there is more interest in you while you are successful.
Yeah.
And when you're getting out most of your squad, if you get the most out of the players in your squad, then you're doing a good job, I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what level you're playing.
True. As a manager, he's a captivating figure in the sense of, you know, he's renowned for his, shall we say, his charisma. He's very charismatic, almost, you know, some people suggest almost eccentric in some regards, in the way he deals with the press, etc. Even at the young stage of his career, did he have that charisma about him? Even when he was
changed.
So he was identical even in the very fledgling period of his career as he is now.
He's exactly the same. He's never changing.
Right.
So, but in the press, he's acting differently as he is as a private person. I know him as a private person.
Right.
And he's a great guy. I mean, but if you see a press conference, and somebody asking the wrong question, they say, "Are you stupid or so?" Or what? That's too. Maybe it's a little bit of an act, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But he's not. Well, he is so. He's the way he's acting, you know, as a person, and he's really, as you say, he's got his own character, his own mind of, you know, doing things.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Mourinho is the same.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mourinho we know, but every player loves him.
Yeah.
The players who was working under Mourinho, they said, "Well, he's the best manager I've ever worked with."
Yeah.
And he's not only tactical very good, but he's helping people, and he's talking with people, and
His man management.
Yes, he's a man management. But if you see him for television, you think, well, he's big-headed. Do normal, act normally, because you're a manager from Chelsea. Don't act like that.
Yeah.
But that's the way he is. I mean, and you should respect that, the way he is. I mean, if Van Gaal is changing completely now, he's not Van Gaal anymore.
Yeah. But so you're saying he was always like that? Even
he was always like that.
1989, when you played for him that year, he was the same. Even before the success, he was larger than life character.
Oh yes, he was charisma, and he's a personality, and he's
but maybe slightly less abrasive behind closed doors. He's a little bit more understated when not in front of the press.
That's right. Well, in private, he's completely different than he is, you know, when he has press conference, or he's you know, talking for television, and he doesn't agree most of the time with the questions the press is asking him. But that's Van Gaal who know. He did the same in Barcelona. He did the same in Munich.
Yes.
And you're going to love him or you hate him.
Yeah.
You know, but I know him as a person, as a manager. I think he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And everybody is cynical sometimes, because his English is not that good at the moment. So sometimes when he's saying something, then they show it on Dutch television again, and they're laughing a little bit about it. So they're a little bit, it's cynical sort of thing. But that's the way he is. But he just don't care. He's just doing his own.
Yeah.
He's got his own mind, and he speaks his mind.
When you said that the Dutch people will be laughing, are they laughing at the fact that maybe it's not quite translating how he's intending for something to be said?
That's right. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
I'm with you.
But
he can't quite express himself fully in English.
That's right. But that will come. He's doing better than in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was the same in Barcelona, in Munich. The same when he started that way. And what's he talking about? And some people didn't understand him. And he told some Dutch jokes that didn't, nobody understood that. So, but that's the way he is, and he's a great manager. He's technical, very good, and he's talking with people.
Yeah.
And for instance, he likes to know what they're doing at home.
Yeah, very.
And he's sitting down. How do you see the football then?
Yeah.
How do you want to play then with this team?
So he's inquisitive as well.
Yes,
he's
yes.
Not, yeah.
He wants to know, because he understands. Garrick and Rooney went to see him in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And they were talking about several things. And he admired that. He said, it's great. The people are thinking with me. So we have a conversation to make the team better. That's the kind of person he is.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So he's got an open mind for somebody else, if they are talking sense. If they're not talking sense, they don't know a lot about the game. So you keep quiet a little bit. But if you talk sense and if you are critical, he can take that. He said, if it strikes you, if you're talking sense about football, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Then you have a conversation.
Yeah.
And then you can make the team better in having conversations with your players.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the players are playing the system they're not quite happy with, you might as well go to the manager. I mean, the system we're playing, we don't understand the system, or we train too hard, or the tactics are not right. Why not? You have to do it together.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're successful, not only the manager is successful, but the whole team and the whole club is successful.
Absolutely.
So you have to work together as a unit to be successful.
And just explain to me as well, I mean, I know football's a simple game, but United have always had a tradition of playing free-flowing, fan-friendly football in terms of very attacking, penetrative, moving forward football. And I always believe that the mesh with the Dutch concept of total football was kind of almost quite synergistic for United in the sense of they were in sync. Both concepts rely on the notion of free-flowing attacking football. But I think Van Gaal, Louis, come in with what he's dubbed his philosophy, which is a word that he uses repeatedly. And I think some United fans have been frustrated by maybe the fact that it isn't quite the traditional Dutch sense of total football, because there's a lot more possession football, and it seems at times to be a bit more pedestrian to what United fans are accustomed to historically. Can you just explain the kind of philosophies behind Louis van Gaal's football, and whether in time United fans can expect it to be more dynamic?
Well, the thing is, the philosophy a little bit is that when you keep the ball and you keep possession, the opposition can't score.
Yeah.
But and you have to be patient. And if the opposition is running here, there, and everywhere the first half, then the second half they're getting a little bit more tired. And when they're getting more tired, there are coming more openings for players like Rooney or Memphis or.
Yeah.
That's the philosophy behind it. But sometimes I think, well, you have to hurry up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you can play positional stuff at your own half, but you can also play positional like Barcelona is doing.
Yes.
But the thing is, Barcelona's got Messi. Now Real Madrid got Ronaldo. And they can make a difference for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter so much what system you're playing, but when you're a player like Messi and you give him the ball and he creates something for the team, that makes it a lot easier for the coach.
It does, yeah.
So the thing is that he believes in this. He said, well, when you give the ball away all the time, you have to chase it. So we can't score when we haven't got the ball. But especially I know how United fans like the team to play.
Yeah.
They like to. When I was playing there, for instance, and that's not only because of me, but I think when you're playing in midfield, when you're getting the ball, the first thing you have to think about is where are my strikers?
Yeah.
When I played with Van Basten, I played with Cruyff, I played with Alan Brazil, I played with Stapleton, I played with Whiteside, and my first thought was, where's Cruyff?
Yeah.
Where is Alan Brazil? Where's Van Basten? Where's Gullit? Because these kind of players can make a difference for the team.
Yeah.
So you must make sure that they get the ball as soon as you can.
Yeah.
And if you play positional football and your striker is running here, there and everywhere without touching the ball, you don't give him the opportunity to express themselves.
Yeah.
Because the strength from Rooney is in the penalty area scoring goals, do something extra for the team.
Yeah.
What Van Persie has done. But you have to give him the ball then. And if you have the ball in midfield and you play the ball back to your central defenders again,
yeah.
and the central defenders give you to the fullback, central defenders, other fullback, and playing back, and the
constantly recycling the ball.
Recycling the ball, that takes a lot of time. But he believes in it because he thinks they're getting tired in the second half.
Yeah.
And we can take full advantage of that. When the opposition is tired,
yeah.
More openings, and so our players are exceptional players, can make the difference for the team then.
I suppose that came to fruition against Liverpool in the sense of the first half was a stalemate, 0-0.
Yeah.
The second half we were able to open them up more. So maybe there is, something in that theory.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when you played at United, like we discussed before, it was the kind of formation I was reared on as well during the 90s of the two banks of four, two up front. And obviously the United you played at in the 80s traditionally played with 4-4-2 as well.
Yes.
It seems like Louis, at the moment, is quite intent on playing the sole striker, one striker up front. What do you make of that formation in terms of playing to the strengths that Louis wants to play to?
Yeah, but I don't think United is playing with one up front. I think Memphis is coming from the left side. And he's not really playing as a midfield player.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of a formation, it's a 4, 2 in front of the back 4, and then in theory 3 in front of those 2, and then 1 up front,
yes,
kind of like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like a pyramid.
Yeah,
like this.
Yeah.
But the thing is, on paper maybe it's that, but it depends a lot on how the team is. How the team is performing, as they have the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, if the opposition's got the ball, you might as well maybe the left and right winger drop a little bit into midfield, if you choose to do that.
Yeah.
But when you have the ball, you can push like Memphis and, let's say, Mata on the right, who is not a right winger in my opinion, but anyway.
Yeah.
Memphis has to play like Ronaldo at Real Madrid. You must drop him don't drop him in midfield, because by the time he's at the penalty area, he's knackered. So play him 20 yards,
Really in the opposition half.
In the opposition half, give him the ball, and when he's beating people, then he's in front of goal, like he did against Bruce. That's his position to play in.
He needs to be on the last man. He needs to be on their defenders. Yeah.
You can play with him on the left, you can play Rooney up front, and Mata, you can play him a little bit more in midfield.
Yeah.
So you've got 4 in midfield anyway.
Yeah.
So, but when you play Mata on the right and he's dropping in midfield, then you give the opportunity to Darmian, the right fullback, to overlap and an extra attacker from that side. Depends how you fill it in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter so much how it is on paper. The most important thing, what are you doing while you have the ball? It doesn't mean to say that when Rooney is playing up front, then when he's dropping, I mean, Fellaini has come front. It depends what you do, and it's changing a lot with the players in certain positions. And so if you're playing with Memphis on the left, he's a left winger. But Mata on the right is not a right winger. So he's got more a free role, like Rob is having at Bayern Munich, and Ronaldo is having at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of difference there. So he's not really playing with 3 up front because he hasn't got really a right winger.
Yeah.
When United play Valencia on the right as a right winger, they play with a right winger.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I found frustrating against Liverpool with Mata is Mata was looking to get in behind the players, whereas he's not a pacey player.
No.
So invariably, if he's put through, the defender will catch him because he's got no pace. Mata should really be the person, not on the last man. He should be the person, like you said, dropping deeper to thread the balls through.
That's right.
To a Memphis or a Rooney.
Right.
But you mentioned there Memphis as well. I was going to say, like you say, the Messi or the Ronaldo, those kind of special players that can create openings out of nothing. In theory, that's what we hope he'll go on to become for us. He came to Old Trafford with quite a hefty price tag and a lot of expectation. How good do you think this boy can be? I mean, I know you're very much well versed with Dutch football and at all levels, through the youth levels up into the first team. You'll have heard about this lad coming through, I imagine.
Yes.
How good can he be?
Well, he is a proven goal scorer. He's got a lot of goals for PSV Eindhoven. He made a difference for PSV last year. But having said that, I mean, the Dutch league is completely different than the English league. Eh? It's two different worlds, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Because PSV won so many games very easily. There's no easy game in England.
Yeah.
If you play Leicester, if you play Bournemouth, away from home, you have to give it all with the whole squad of players. Otherwise, you don't win the game. So he proved he's been a good player. He did okay, not great for the Dutch national team. Mm-hmm. I think he started well for United, but you see a lot of younger players who are coming through who are doing very well in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But after a while, you see them dropping a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's got something to do with the pace of the game, maybe. It's got something to do with how many balls you're getting during the game. Depends on how you play yourself. He's a player who can beat people, he can score goals.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the last 3-4 weeks he lost it a little bit. If he's not beating people very easily, he's still trying to beat people.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to look for combination football, like a play and go sort of thing, a 1-2 situation, or waiting for the through ball and kick the crosses in and come to the far post and do things like that.
Yeah.
But he still tries to beat people, which is okay, and the fans love that.
Yeah.
If he's going past people.
Yeah.
But if you try it for 10 times and you're not successful 8 times, then you're going to say, well, you have to find something new, to be successful for your team and make a difference for your team. Having said that, he's only 21, I think.
Yeah.
It's another country, it's another club, it's a bigger club. The price tag, of course, the fans expect a lot from you. The English press expect a lot from you, especially when he's done very well in the beginning when he played for United. So it's just the case for him is to be consistent. I understand last week he was substituted in half time. And he wasn't playing very well. He didn't play very well for the last Dutch games against Iceland and Turkey. So he's a little bit of a.
He's out of form.
He will come back. He will come back.
I think
give him some time.
He's yet to set the world alight in the Premiership, but I think what I find encouraging about him is he's clearly got a lot of flair, but I like his attitude because he never seems to let his head drop.
No.
He's always one of those players. It doesn't matter if he loses the ball 5 times. Sometimes players in the past we've had, like maybe flair players like a Nani. Yeah. If Nani's not in the game, his head's gone. He's not in the game. But with Memphis, even if he's not playing well, he always seems to have the desire to be involved, and that's promising for a young player.
That's right. That's promising. But if you lose the ball all the time because you're not in form, then I don't think your teammates are very happy with that. No. I mean, if Rooney is in front of goal and the cross doesn't come because Memphis has to do his trick. He's not going to be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But you have to keep him a little bit of time. He's only 21, and he's a great prospect, I think. But you have to fight for your place because when the Frenchman came, Di Marzio, I mean, maybe he's can play on the left wing when he's not in form. So you have to fight for your position as well.
Absolutely.
And that was not necessary for PSV Eindhoven because he was the star man every week.
Yeah.
But now at United, with a big squad, you have to, perform well day in and day out. Not only in games, but I know Van Gaal, he wants to do well with training sessions as well.
Yeah.
You can't work on a training pitch for 40% or 50%. We give 100% here.
Yeah.
And quite rightly so, because they earn a lot of money these days, and you have to give more than 100%. Yeah. Not because it's United, but because you're a professional footballer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think one more thing with Memphis is maybe because the team hasn't been creating a lot. I think he's probably felt like the onus is on him. So maybe right. Too much at times to create something out of nothing. Whereas maybe hopefully as the team improves as well,
right.
less responsibility on him, and he'll thrive more without that pressure. So.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And the team is not doing very well. I mean, there was a period that Rooney was very quiet.
Exactly, Rooney started a lot of slowly.
Goals. And if the team is not, playing well,
it's hard for anyone to.
He has the tendency to do well. If the team is not doing well, I have to be the star man. Then I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to go past people.
Yeah.
And I have to score goals. Otherwise, there's a lot of pressure. So he has to find this rhythm in that, I think.
Yes, and I agree with you. I do think he will do.
Yeah, he will do. He's a good prospect. He's a good player. He will come.
And another one of your countrymen, Daley Blind. We signed him. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, we all anticipated that he would play a central midfield role, fairly defensive central midfielder. But since we bought him, he's actually played more. He's played at left back last season at times. Then at this season, obviously, he's now adopting the centre back role alongside Chris Smalling. What are your perceptions of Daley Blind, and where do you see him ultimately fitting in at United?
Well, that's a good question, because in the national side they're doing the same thing with him.
Yeah.
Left back, most defensively midfield player. He's not playing at the back for the national team at the moment. But I think he owed Louis van Gaal a lot, because he knew him from the national team, of course, and he's done well there in the World Cup. I wonder if another coach have been coach of United, if they would have bought Daley Blind.
Right.
You know what I mean? The same applies to Memphis, of course, because I know Paris Saint-Germain was very interested in him, and he was very close of signing a contract for them, for the French team.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Louis van Gaal really wants with him, because he's played on three different positions now. Well, it depends what a coach wants with you. If you want a player as Blind as a central defender, don't expect from him that he is tackling and he's heading balls and he's winning one-against-one situations all the time. Smalling is that kind of player. He's doing a lot of good work for Daley. But Daley is very good in ball possession. He's got an eye for an opening. He's got a very good pass, especially to the midfield players.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose balls a lot of the times. He's dribbling into midfield, like he has done for Ajax a lot of times. He came from the back. If he's playing at the back, he came to midfield, so create a 4-against-2 situation there.
Yeah.
So sometimes I see him doing that for United. That I think Van Gaal wants him to join midfield a little bit more when he's got the ball.
Yeah.
So he's very, very good at doing that. But if you ask from him other things, then you got a little bit of a problem. Yeah. Everybody is saying that he's playing in midfield as a defensively midfield player. He's a little bit too slow for that in his actions.
Yes.
Everybody is saying that. Not only, I think in England they're saying that as well.
Yeah.
The game is too fast for him in midfield.
Yeah.
And now, because he's playing at the back, everything is in front of him. And there's not a lot of pressure on the defenders from United, because they are, well, let's say 60 or 70% of the game, they've got the ball themselves.
Yeah.
And he's then very good, because when he's got ball possession, he's got the right idea how to play, he's got exactly the right idea what he has to do, and he's getting a little bit stronger in the 1-against-1 situation.
Yeah.
Because he's getting more used to it now. And I don't think it's very good for him to play centre half and next week left full back and next week after most defensively midfield player.
Yeah.
I mean, if you play him on the left side in the defence, let him stay that way. Let him get his rhythm there, and he knows exactly what to do because he's clever.
Yeah.
He's got a tactical, he's got a good mind of how to play football.
Yeah.
And I think Van Gaal is very pleased with him. And I think United is pleased with him as well because he's always a player who's playing in a 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
He's never a player who's playing a 4 or a 3 or a 5. He's always...
Oh yeah, they're always consistent.
He's always consistent in the way he's playing. And managers like these kinds of players.
But do you think he might fall foul to what previous United players, or obviously for any team, when you become a versatile kind of squad player, and players United that I would cite would be sort of Phil Neville or John O'Shea, who have been very versatile. They can play full back, they can play John O'Shea centre back, centre midfield at times.
That's a risk.
And therefore you never have a fixed position in the team. And
that's right.
With all the other positions now quite strong where Daly does play, he could maybe fall foul to that if he doesn't have a fixed position. Well,
it's going to be interesting to see what he's doing with Rojo because he's a left-sided central defender. Yeah. And if Daly is not playing, where is he going to play him? Because Schneiderlin is there, Garrick is there,
and
Schweinsteiger is there.
They can play there. Luke Shaw's brilliant at left back at the moment, so it's going to be difficult.
So it's difficult, but you need a big squad.
Yeah.
And the way United is playing now and the way Daly is performing, I think there's no reason to change anything. I mean, if the result is not very good and you make mistakes all the time, then you might change the team a little bit as a manager because you're looking for different things then. I mean, they've beaten Liverpool 3-1, and I think they're a little bit on the way. They played more attractive than they've done before, I think. If Rooney is fit and he's scoring goals, that gives the whole team a boost.
Yes.
Then Memphis will play better, the team will play better, and they've got a good squad of players. Yeah. So it's just, and I believe in Van Gaal, the way he's doing. I mean, there's a lot of criticism, I know that, from the fans and also from the English press, the first year, why is he doing this and why is he doing that.
Yeah.
But if the team is going to be successful this year, then everybody is saying, he is one of the best coaches around. Yes. It's all about success. But it's very difficult to step in the footsteps of Sir Alex. Everybody is coming after him.
Yeah.
They got a problem because he's one of the best managers ever. And not only in England, but in the world. I mean, he's been working for United for 25 years?
26, I believe it was.
Years?
Maybe, 20, could have been 27. 26, I believe it was,
It's unbelievable, it's incredible. To stay at one club for such a long time and being so successful for one club. I mean, it's...
But ultimately, do you urge United fans to remain patient with Van Gaal? In the end, ultimately, you believe he'll make a success of it. He'll return United to silverware.
Yes, but I still think that he should have bought a striker, an extra striker.
Yeah.
A proven goal scorer. I think you're going to need that if Rooney is not fit, or there's something wrong with him. Yeah. I'm wondering who is going to play up front. And Fellaini is not, in my opinion, is not really a striker.
No.
And Memphis is not a striker. He has to come from the left. He's tried that as well. Same with he tried to play with two strikers as well at one time. With Rooney and Memphis.
He certainly tried to employ Memphis quite an attacking role.
Yeah. But I think he's the best, on favourite position, which is on the left.
Well, maybe we'll see if Ruud van Nistelrooy will come back and score a few goals for us. Still looks fit.
Let's hope so.
Still looks healthy.
Yeah, well, it looks very healthy. But United have such a great goal scorers and great, strikers in the past as well.
Yeah.
And they still have in Rooney, of course. And Van Persie. They sold Van Persie as well.
We sold.
And Welbeck, he sold him.
So Welbeck. Well, we've got young Martial now, so we'll.
Okay. Let's hope he can do the job for United.
Absolutely. Arnold, an absolute pleasure chatting with you today. Thank you.
It was my pleasure as well.